Let me just check my monitor. Because I like to see sometimes. Is that me? Is it happening? Yes. Okay, goody. So do not put that on the table. Again, let's get into the zone. Ooh, so in the after show, it's a lot looser. If you want to participate, you can. If I see the chat, I will. But mainly, I'm going to be cleaning up and making some iced tea. Yes. Oh, good gosh. See, that's why I like the after show, because it's so like random. Okay. So, let's talk about magic. I'm just looking at my love handles there. Now, before I left, by the way, to go to Asia, I was like 106 kgs. Why? Because I was writing a script called Fat Boy. And so I gained, I think, like 20 to 30 kgs, so I would know what it felt like. Because I can't write a script or a story unless I actually experience it. Because like I can't just make shit up. I can't like pretend. And so I gained all the weight, and then obviously I lost it without trying, because my body normally goes back to normal. So someone asked me, how do you lose weight? So somebody asked me, how do you lose weight? And I couldn't give an answer because I don't weigh myself unless I go to the doctor. So when I talk about magic and technology, I want you guys to stop thinking of it as, okay, I have my private life, I have my love life, I have my work life, I have my dreams. It's all one life. And what you eat contributes to how you feel at work. And how you are treated at work contributes to how you treat your family at home. If you study psychology, there's something called non-directional frustration. It's when you take the stress you have at work or somewhere else, and because you can't cuss out your boss, you go cuss out your friends or your family. Now, when you start separating your life, then you'll say, why, or your family might say, why is this guy or girl so angry at home, but at work they're so happy? Well, it's because you are splitting yourself into different dimensions. That's why I always tell you guys, do not listen to the people who tell you to go dimension hop to your other version in another dimension, because they are trying to split your power light body. You mustn't exist in 6 million dimensions. There's no dimension where you can play the piano. You play the piano now, not going to some other place where some other demon is sucking your life force. So I always tell my people, pull your energy towards yourself, because that's what I was told to do. Pull your energy towards yourself. Remove yourself out of every dimension. Come back to this dimension. Why? So that you are not influenced by entities you don't know in different dimensions. And then you come to me and you say, oh, all of a sudden, I've fallen in love with this girl, but I don't know, there's so many red flags. And I'm like, yeah, because she went to get you in another dimension, and now she's pulling you in. And I'm not going with you. So have fun. When you come back, you know where to find me. So guys, pull yourselves into one dimension. All of you, in all your bodies, you are here now, in this moment. Goodness me. First, decant. Do not keep your milk in the tin can. It's not good for you. You have to decant it. So I'll put it in here. Okay, wash your hands when handling foodies. Even in the after show, we have to. I love sometimes when I talk to people overseas and they're like, oh, do you guys have like lions and everything? No, we have running water and everything. And lions. Everything. Come one, come all. Okay, I don't like to mix my coconut milk because the watery part stays at the bottom. And then I cook with the nice creamy part, and then I use this for my tea, or just in a drink, you know. Because the nice thing about being in the order of Melchizedek is you can drink alcohol. Even though I'm not a fan, it's still handy. Because sometimes you just want to drink. Especially when you're running around vanquishing demons your whole life. You need. That's why I love it in Charmed. At the end of each episode, they're always hanging out at the bar. And I'm like, yeah, now I get it. Now I understand. But stay out of the bars, kids. Okay? And by kids, I mean 18-year-olds and above. I use the term kids for everyone. Because, you know, I was here since the beginning of time. Or whatever you call time. So let's talk about the cameras, okay? Someone is telling me to talk about the cameras. I hear you. I love the cameras. Because I was never alone as a kid. Hey. That's confirmation. So when you're listening to the show, you'll often hear me say something, then a bell will ring or a door will slam. That's them. I call it them. Who are them? In the Bible, it says, let us make man in our image. And they did. They are them that I'm talking about. Okay? They, the ones who made man in their image, that's them. So I feel like a bit of a snack. One of my favorite things to eat in summer, frozen grapes. It's just like little jujubes of nature's frozen cold goodness. And you suck on them, and it's like, cool. Do you guys want to come along and wash some dishes in the after show? Let's get a nice angle. You know, I'm the leading man in this shit. There we go. Okay, so the cameras. Ugh. Yeah, it's too close. Hang on. Framing is important. Framing is everything. I'd rather stand here than be out of frame. So the cameras. It's smackingly good. So when I was a kid, like, I don't know, as soon as I could remember, there's these cameras, right, floating around, talking to me. And I realized they are called angels in the Bible. I couldn't read at the time. Sorry, I didn't know. So these cameras are floating, looking at me, and they're telling me stuff, and the stuff they tell me comes true. So I'm a kid. I don't know that everyone else can't see the cameras. I think everyone can see the cameras. So I tell my family members, oh, there's cameras. Now, a few weeks ago, my sister was telling the story to someone else, and she was like, yeah, I used to run away every time he used to look up and tell me to look at the cameras. And she said, apparently, I used to say, they're here. Look, they're here. Can you see them? And then she would run away. Whenever I would be in the bathroom, they would be there as well. Let me get the charger. They were in there as well, and they literally said, hang on, I need a charge. Just a minute. Hello? Hello? Hi. Yeah. Can I call you back? Can I call you back? Sorry. I'm on a live. No. Yes, that's true. But it's a sign. It's magic. I'll talk to you later. Sorry. I'm live. Okay, bye. Okay. Now that's one of my favorite people. And you're not going to believe what their name is. That's why you see, guys, when you talk about this stuff, it happens. And then I have to have instant manifestation by myself. And then, no, you must come have instant manifestation with me so that you can see how fun these people are. You're not going to believe the name of the person I just spoke to, so I'm not going to say it. Because one of the things is you mustn't freak out when you manifest, because in a movie you're only allowed to freak out twice. The first time in the beginning when you notice it, it's called stunning surprise number 1. In every single movie you watch, you're never going to forget what I'm about to tell you. When you get to around 27 minutes of a 90-minute plus movie, the lead actor will always do this. It's called Stunning Surprise number 1. Go watch the movie Collateral with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. It's the best explanation of what I'm saying. Then it happens again on page 60. That's how movies are encoded. You see, the aperture's changing, it's flashing, because they are here, because they just called. Now, the person who called, should I say, you see? Fine, I'll say it. Her name is one of my aunts. Her name is Aunt Angel. That's why I'm like, of course she called. And that's why I was like, it's magic. Because of course, when Aunt Angel calls, I'm talking about angels. Okay, let's get this plug in. So the camera people would come with me everywhere, including the bathroom, and they would show me some stuff with water. Now, in case you're wondering why I'm always talking about water, now you know. And what would they show me with the water? Well, different things. This is not going to make it across. So I'm going to have to put it here. I'm doing live editing. That's why I like the after show. I don't have to be... Oops. Okay, we got the charger in, right? Yes. Is that better, guys? I know it's a bit of a strange angle, but you know, it's the after show. And I have to eat my grapes. So they would show me stuff with water. Now I'm thinking this happens to every kid in the world. So I talk about it to everyone, and then everyone thinks I'm nuts. Then I keep quiet. And then I ignore. So what I normally would do when I was a kid, I would just, everyone would be playing there. I would make an excuse to go be by myself with the cameras. And they would tell me so much stuff. Oh, I remember being in the nature club when I was 7, grade 1, with Mrs. Bran. And she would take us around the school after school. That was the aftercare, remember? After school, you go do extra stuff. I was in the nature club. We go and she would show us all the trees on the school. She would tell us you can eat this tree, this plant, you can cook with this, you can make tea. Love Mrs. Brand. She also told us like how the trees work, how to plant. We used to take beans and put it in cotton. Then a root would, it was like wondrous. Imagine being 7 and looking at a cotton wool that you put on the windowsill, excuse me, and now there's roots growing out of it. It's like magical. So that was my life. Now, fast forward to now where everyone like doesn't care about that stuff. Because everyone wants to be famous and everyone wants to put baby oil on themselves, whatever. Then I come and I'm like, life is amazing. Life is magical. People get suspicious of people like you and me because people have a mask. People have a persona. People aren't just going to tell you. With me, I'll tell you. Because I was raised in a family like that. Like my mom is like, whatever you want to know, I'll tell you. What's the point of secrets? Because secrets, especially family secrets, make you nuts. So I was raised to just talk about it. You say it, then it's done. Move on. Don't hold it because you're wasting time. So I present myself as I am, but then other people think I must be hiding something because surely no one can just be so open. And so people tend to either A, if they are demons, they try to attack you and kill you. Or, and here's a perfect example. Go to the YouTube user called Immortal18. Now in his story, he baited these people, but they attacked him because they thought he was the devil. But he told them he was the devil. But the point is, I didn't tell anyone I was the devil, but everyone in school called me the devil, Lucifer, Satan. Even the other day, someone said to me, oh, I thought you were a Satanist. And you know what? A little bit of me does get angry because no, I'm busy vanquishing demons so that you guys can be safe. Then you say, I'm the demon. Okay, forgive them for they know not what they do. But at the same time, and this is kitchen table talk, okay? You don't go around outside saying these things. It's just in the kitchen between you and I. Outside, you must say, just, you know, be demure outside. In the kitchen, we talk. So, yeah, I do get pissed. because I don't do this shit for my health. I do it for the spiritual warfare. Because when I was 5, Jesus told me, and he said, look, there's a spiritual warfare happening. And I didn't even wait. I was like, yeah, sign me up. And the next year I went to acting class. And then 10 years later, I had to vanquish my first demon. And it's funny because I dreamt, full circle, I dreamt of that bitch. Now this demon, I was 16 years old and she was molesting kids at school. I went to a Knights Templar school. Oh, you want proof? Let me get the Knights Templar tie that I used to wear every day. And I got awarded one of the only white ties, which is kind of like you in the Illuminati, kind of. But I said no. Okay, so where are you? Now, don't tell anyone. Now, if you know the Knights Templar cross, you know, okay, I'll be quick because I'm not, well, I can show you, but I don't like, Okay, this was only given to 3 people that year and no one gets it. That's how deep I was in there. And then the normal one that all the muggles would wear who don't know any initiation, they got the blue one. Okay? And yes, we are knights, whatever. Everybody calm down. Yes, Illuminati is real. Woo! But that's not the point. You already knew that. And my country is like the big hotspot because Jeffrey Epstein used to come here. The Lolita, South Africa. So, these grapes. So I know a little something about a little something in South Africa. And of course, Oprah's school is here, but Oprah's amazing. In Romania, Okay, anyway, back to the point. I'm supposed to be washing dishes here. So everyone, I can understand if you think I'm evil in the beginning. Because yes, I went to all those places, but I'm telling you, I never blended with those people. I would go do my own thing. Because I'm talking to the cameras 90% of the time. Even my teachers would say, look, he's in his own world. But I still would get high marks and everything. Like I got A's for all my languages. Maths, I suck. Don't make me do math. So people that I interacted with, most of them were what I would say human. I call them humans. Even though humans are all aliens, it's just the way I differentiate between us, Star Marines, and them. But it's not really us and them because we are all one. Excuse me, but I'm making a movie here, okay? You have to have an antagonist, a tritagonist, a contagonist, a deuterogonist. So deal with it, okay? So them, the muggles, the humans, are not the same as warlocks. Warlocks and humans are not the same, people. Warlocks specifically made a deal with a demon in the 4th dimension to get power. How? To know things before other people know them. How do you use this in business? Okay, so you have a businessman who's a stock trader. He'll make a deal with the demon. The demon will guide him to the right stocks. How? Through telepathy. So the stock trader, who's now a warlock, he'll be driving in his car and he'll see a sign that says Company A. He'll get out of his car, he'll go to work, people are talking about Company A. He goes home, his wife says, hey, I got a call from Company A. Now that man goes to take his drugs, his psychedelics, and the demon comes back to him and says, today you heard a certain company name mentioned a lot. Go invest in that. That's how they get their power. They get extra information through feelings. And those feelings come through signs. That's why I was teaching you telepathy 101 for the past week, so that you understand how they do it, so you're not scared. They're not going to curse you. They can't do anything to you. They're just using tech. And you are the better tech, so you're good. So these assholes, they use this technology and then it comes true. So they invest in Company A. Now, why Company A? The CEO of Company A also made a deal with the demon. And they told him, if you build an altar, we will give you shareholders. So it's like a network. So now you have this owner of Company A working with demons, and then the people who buy the shares in Company A are working with. So you might be the general public, right? You get the stock options at the end when they finish doing their rituals together. Now it's available to you. When you get the share options, you are just a battery now. You are just there to sway the market, to make whatever plan they really want to happen, which is based on those demons, Marines, to come true. Look at Astro World. Did you see the video of those kids running into that stadia as if they were not gonna live to see Christmas if they don't get in there? That's demonic. Go watch those videos again. Do you see how rabid they are in their faces? That is not human. Those are children of the night. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, even though it's a word of conviction. I'm just going to say there's a reason why you were not in that place. There's a reason why you are here now. There's also a reason why those people were there and why they are no longer here. There's reasons for everything. I'll say it like that. I'll leave it. See, I'm talking to the cameras now because they tell me what to tell you, and I'm telling you. So yeah, the reason I say that is because you're not meant to feel sorry for anyone, because everyone makes their own choices in life. And when you feel sorry for people, you are dragging your vibration down. And I know it's unpopular to say because you have to be empathetic. Why do you think they tell you that on the media? Everywhere you must be empathetic, but the same people who tell you that are dropping bombs on kids in Ukraine, in Russia, in Somalia. The same people who tell you, believe women, #MeToo, are dropping bombs on little girls. That's why I don't give a shit about what they say, because it's bullshit. You don't feel sorry. How do I put the, okay, how do I say it? Okay, so empathy is great, right? And your empathy, oh, that's a good one. That's a good word. Your empathy is based on your moral structure of judgment. So for example, if you wouldn't Diddy someone, if you wouldn't Weinstein someone, then if someone who Weinstein someone says, help me, give me empathy, fuck them. They must go get help from the entity who told them to do what they did. You are not involved in that. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah. You get out of there. Because you cannot go low enough to make a low person come high. You cannot be high enough to make a low person, and I say emotionally, vibrationally low, depressed even. You cannot go high enough to encourage them to come up. Everyone has free will. It's in the Bible. It's in the UNESCO laws. So forget the Bible if you're not Christian then. Read the UNESCO laws. The first law of UNESCO is you have free will. You are self-determined. You do whatever you want. You're not a baby. In 1920, alcohol was illegal. We were still drinking. We had these rooms underground. We'd go inside and the cops come and we act. We actors. We don't know. What are you talking about? What alcohol? Then the cops go and we dance again. So who cares what's legal or illegal? Don't twist that. Obviously not satanic stuff, but I mean fun stuff that King Solomon talked about. Eat, drink, and be merry. Then do whatever you want. Even if they tell you not to do it. This is a movie, guys, so I'm not encouraging anything. This is a break from our sponsors. You are in a movie. You are in cinema verite right now, okay? Let the water run. So obviously, if you are demonic, you will twist what I said. I'm not even going to acknowledge those things, but you know what I mean. Do whatever you want because you follow a law from, not from here. But you know, give to Caesar what is his. So pay your taxes, do all that stuff because money's rubbish anyway. I always tell you that. So now these cameras, let's get back to the cameras. So the cameras have always been there. And as I got older, I told you guys my mom was into psychology. And so I found her books and I started learning psychology concepts. And the cameras would then like teach me Freud. I remember being like super young. Now this is funny because people like Billy Carson are like, yeah, I was reading Astrospace or Aerospace when I was 6. And I don't know if that's real or not, but you know, I actually did read psychology books. I've shown you the book I read. I've read it with you on live. And that's the literal book that I've shown you that I started reading. And that has Freud and stuff in it. So I would be 6 years old reading Freud, and my mom put her own notes in it. I've shown you her handwritten notes, so I understood it. And when I say read, I mean I was reading Bible verses at a very young age because, like I said, I started drama, speech and drama, acting classes at 6. So I had to up my language skills at a young age. So every day after school, I'd practice reading for like hours on end and acting. So I could read my mom's notes in the psychology book, which had these super complicated terms. My mom made it easy because English is not her first language either. So I would read the book and then I would go out in the world and say, okay, Freud, let's see if it's real. And then I would see people doing what Freud was saying, mainly coping mechanisms. I love the section in that book on coping mechanisms. I think there's like 27 of them. There's compensation. Compensation is when you hate someone or something, but you don't want other people to know you hate it or them. So you go overboard. You're like, I love my son or I love my daughter. That's the example they use in the book. They're amazing. In the book, they make an example of a mom who hates having a kid because she can't work, but she wants to work, so then she becomes overprotective of the kid. That's a coping mechanism. It's kind of low-key abusive as well. It makes complexes, right? So I'm a kid and I'm reading all these denial and all these different things. The best one that I found is called sublimation. That's the best coping mechanism. Sublimation is what we are doing right now. Sublimation is when you take shit and you turn it to sugar, to art. So have you ever seen those nuttos who take their poo-poo and they put it on the wall? Or they take poo-poo and they put it on other people? That is the lowest form of psychology. That's like a trash human. That's a low-class bitch who does that, according to psychology. Now, sublimation means you take that desire and instead of doing that shit, you turn it into gold. And artists do that, right? Because they paint. So instead of painting with shit, you paint with paint. That's the same psychological desire being expressed in an evil way, like shitting on people, literally, as you've seen in the Hollywood tapes, or painting, putting your emotion on the canvas, on the wall, or on your body through fashion or tattoos, but not as poo-poo. So the angels, the cameras, told me all of this when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I grew up in another dimension. I didn't grow up collecting Pokemon and playing TV games and all of that crap. Not that it's crap. It seems like it was fun. I don't know. But I didn't have time for that. Yeah, I feel like now is my gaming time because I'm off the field. I was on the field fighting demons. So our house was also haunted, but that's a whole nother story. Like these things have been here. I'm so glad I can talk about it because I would go out and have friends, right? Now I'm older. And I can't talk about what I go through. So sometimes I have to disappear during dinner. Like one of my dear friends, I used to go to dinner and I'd be like, I have to go. Where are you going? I can't tell you. And then people used to think we were dating because we were everywhere together. And then they would be like, oh, what a shitty boyfriend. He leaves you here by yourself. I have to go talk to the freaking entity to get the next step, to go get the information to vanquish the demon in a tunnel somewhere. It's like insane, okay? And so, yeah, it's hard to have normal relationships and friendships when that's all you're doing all the time. And then you can't explain it because you guys know this, whenever you start in the old dimension, whenever you would start telling someone about your dreams, about the shadow you see, or the people talking above your bed at night, their eyes gloss over. It's almost like there's someone who takes out their CPU and for the time you're talking, it's like they don't hear you. I used to be so like naughty and kind of like, oh, okay, you guys are taking out I call these people the cleaners. I got that from Charmed because when I saw that episode, I was like, so whenever I wanted the angels to like come and help me now, I would go around telling people about magic. I would just go to strangers and say, yeah, do you know that there's this place underground and you go in a hole and it's another world, but it's actually upside down. So when you go through underground, you actually stand up the other side. And then all of a sudden I would see their eyes gloss over and then I would get a message from the heavens. Because at that time, they didn't want me to tell anyone anything. But sometimes I needed, communication. So you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to follow all the rules like an altar boy. That's another thing. When I talk to God and these angels, I talk to them like a human, like normal, like we laugh together. I'm like, hey, what the hell? Because I grew up with them. Okay. But as I grew up and I was doing psychology, I was like, okay, this is just my imagination because I read it in the book and everything is just from my mind. So that was my motto. It's all in the mind. Every time someone talks to me, I say, it's all in the mind. It's just that my mind is more creative. So I use my imagination to project these angels, these cameras, to help me cope. That's what I started to think. Until I was 13. So from 6 to 13, well, like 6 to 12, I thought it's all in my mind, and that was the best time of my life in terms of not having to fight demons and just being in Lumania forever. Then when I was 13, I went to the Knights Templar and it was shit. I remember before I went, they started coming back, the cameras, and they told me, that's what I love about Jesus and God. He tells you what he's doing. He doesn't just come in there and shock you. So he tells me, and the person who phoned, Aunt Angel, she knows because I told her this all those years ago. I said, I'm going to fight demons. I'm 12 years old. I'm like, I'm going to fight demons. I do not want to go there. And my pleas fell on deaf ears. Long story short, yes, I went there. Yes, it was demonic. I didn't know that Satanism was like real. I knew people did it. I knew people had altars and they dress in black robes, but I thought they just nuts because I've read this book, right? And the book says these are coping mechanisms. Honey. And by the way, it was an all-boys school. So imagine all that masculine energy in one place. I'm not even going to go into what I seen or what happened. Suffice it to say, when I was 16, I had to vanquish my first demon, which I did. I saw her in a dream today. And I felt guilty about that for a long time because look, in the olden days, you could take a demon and burn them at the stake. You could go drop them in water. You can't do that anymore, okay? So you have to use the law, legal. That's why you need to look at everything, write everything down, and keep records of everything. Keep your paperwork. That's how Lucifer works. It's illegal. Demons are legalistic. That's how I never got sued. Because if they sue me, the truth comes out. So it's better not to sue me. That's how I get away with everything. Get away, as you people say. I'm not getting away with anything. I'm fucking doing my job. So I felt guilty because I made a deal with them. I was like, okay, I'm not going to expose you to the public about what, the sex scandals that have happened, that I've uncovered here, thanks to these cameras who told me where to look. I'm not gonna say anything if you fire the bitch now. And they said, no, we can't fire the molester because they have psychological issues. You must have empathy. You see the empathy demon. Bullshit. And then I said, fine. Then you hit the pavement. And then the next day she was gone. The reason I felt guilty is because that was more like a banishing in my mind. Now, mind you, I'm 16. So I shouldn't even be dealing with this kind of stuff. Like, I would get called out of class to go talk to the headmaster about, like, heavy shit that I'm not even supposed to be dealing with at that age. But anyway, fine, it's my job. I'm a Star Marine, I'll do it. So the next day they got rid of her. But I felt bad because I was like, well, she got a payment package, like a severance package, I imagine. And the victims never really got closure. And I talked to the victims and I said, why don't you guys just file charges? And they were like, no, I don't want to be embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. So then I also felt it would be not my place to, I felt like I did what I could. But I also felt a little bit like it wasn't public. It wasn't shone in the light. So I don't know if that demon went and molested other people. And she even used to tell me to have sex on a washing machine because it feels good. And at the time, before I knew she was like raping people, I thought, who didn't want to be, by the way, I thought I was, you know, when you're a kid and adults tell you like stuff and you feel cool, like, oh, I'm mature. They telling me these blue jokes. When I found out about that stuff, I was like, oh, that's the grooming process. And who taught me about grooming? Oprah Winfrey. So why the fuck would Oprah be a bad guy if she taught us what to look out for? Why would Oprah be the bad guy if she brought Dave Chappelle on her platform to tell us what they're doing to people? And if I didn't know that, Dave Chappelle talked about people being drugged. I told you about being drugged. Even then, when I was being drugged, the only reason I figured it out is because I changed my diet. I was like, what is happening to me for months? And I stopped eating everything until I was just eating fresh fruit all day. And I was still being drugged. So I left town for a week. And I was like, why when I leave town, this is in July this year, I was like, why July 2nd, I was like, why when I leave this town where I'm being drugged, but I don't know because I'm busy, and I go to the main city, I'm fine. Why? Then I came back on the 7th of July. So 2nd of July, I took time off. The 4th, I went to the city. The 7th, I come back to the swamp. It was like a bayou parish. So I get a phone call from someone who says, come have lunch. Oh, before the phone call, I say to the cameras, what's happening to me here? Who's doing this to me? And I get a phone call. This was the third time that I'd said that and this person would call. So then the angels are saying, this is who's doing this to you. So then I still don't believe it because it's a sweet old lady. It was a bunch of them, but it was a nest. So this sweet old lady says, come have lunch. You can have whatever you want. I was like, no, I'm vegetarian. I'll bring my own lunch. No. Whatever you want. What do you want to drink? Okay, I want maybe some iced tea or whatever. I get there. They give me apple juice. I want tea. Everyone knows I love tea. They give me apple juice. They give me pasta. And I eat it, and then I start seeing flashing light. I was like, this is LSD. This is LSD, and I'm out. I'm not going to go into all the rest of it, but that's when the nightmare began of me figuring out what was going on and then coming back to the country. But the point I'm making is, the reason I got that deep is because I kept telling myself, no, it's all in the mind. Because after I wrote my book about manifestation, I was like, okay, there's no more demons, because I was sick of the demon thing. I was like, no more vanquishing demons, leave me alone. I was Piper in Charmed. I just want a normal life, okay? But you can't run away from your destiny because these evil people are killing and killing and killing. And they are killing our brothers and sisters. And it's our responsibility to put them out in the light so that our other brothers and sisters understand how evil works, that the devil is not real, but he's in the fourth dimension in people's minds, people who are low vibrational, people who don't know Jesus, people who don't have faith, people who believe that in order to achieve, you have to kill or harm another, which is a lie. But those people exist, and people like me exist to shut them down. I've done that. Now it's your turn. It's like a bunch of us were sent as the first wave to test the theory, right? To test the Star Marine program. And now the aliens are like, see, Major Mvikeli, version 3.5, he achieved the goal. So let's roll it out. This is the rollout. So the reason I'm telling you this is because this is you now. You are going to go out and you have to expose every single demon in your life. And you know who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about. And, you know, you're basically in Mission Impossible now. You are Ethan Hunt. You are in MI6. So, well, you're a Star Marine because they copyrighted that. So you're a Star Marine. And in your movie, you vanquish demons. I don't have to do it anymore. I did it. So I'm like on the TV now. So I'll come do interviews. I'm available to you. I'll whatever you want to know. I don't have anything to hide. The people who have something to hide are the ones who are demonic. And that's the truth. That's it. If you want to know who's evil and who's not, ask a question and see how they react. If they can't answer you, they're a demon. Ask me anything, I'll tell you. Why should I hide it? What do you want to know? Okay, that's how the game works now. I like this after show thing. So I'm going to continue washing these things because obviously I wash and then I stop and I talk. And I really encourage you guys to look at those Starseed University videos and suspend your disbelief. Go into it because you're the lead character. It's your movie. And have fun. Vanquishing demons is fun. Low-key, as terrified as I was, it was kind of, in retrospect, fun running across the globe. Like, being like, who's that? I was talking to the government, talking to the embassy in the middle of this huge city, right? And I'm the only person of this color in the city. And the government's like, okay, turn left, go here, get into the taxi and give this to the taxi driver. Because, yeah, it was like surreal. It was like, I'm freaking Harrison Ford, okay? In retrospect, yes, it's fun. But it is fucking hard. So see you later. Bye.